Howdy, folks, and welcome to your storm chasing forecast show for Tuesday, June 16th. I am Gabriel Harbor, and I am flying solo here with you today. Cameron Nixon is actually en route to this big Day 3, soon to be Day 2, enhanced risk that might just be getting upgraded here very shortly across the Midwestern states. Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, a little bit of Ohio. So everybody is talking about this, but right now we've got the day before the day. Put that back up on screen here. And we're specifically going to be focusing in on this region right here. You're not a fish, at least I don't think so, which means you're not going to be chasing this. And since everybody and their grandmother is on their way to this target area for Wednesday, I don't anticipate anyone's going to be trying to catch storms up in this region unless you are extremely local and you don't have anything else to do. So let's look at the tornado probabilities real quick. Like I said, you're not a fish, so don't worry about any of this down here in the Gulf of Mexico. And we have a very small target area that could be getting upgraded here shortly. The day 1 outlook will be coming out within about an hour and a half to 2 hours after this has been recorded. So by the time you're watching, there's a good chance that you'll know whether or not the situation is trending upwards or staying the same. Hopefully I can give you a little bit of insight that you can use to carry with you if you're making the difficult decision today, whether or not you should be trying to chase this by arriving in the target area for Wednesday sooner than you might otherwise like, or if you should just go ahead and take your leisurely time driving and not worrying about the risk that's going to be materializing later this afternoon. So the first thing we're going to be taking a look at here is our 500 millibar winds. And you can see a very clearly defined, absolutely no doubt about it, shortwave trough that's going to be digging through this region. It's going to be scraping right across the northern Great Lakes area, and it's going to be putting that jet streak right across our target area into the evening. So you can see here, if we go ahead and move that forward a little bit, you can see that stronger level of jet stream winds coming right in here around 5 p.m., coincident with when we are looking for initiation to take place. And I think it probably would be a good idea to go ahead and jump down to our composite reflectivity real quick, because it is a very interesting setup. You can see that early on in the day we get this sort of messy crapvection that overspreads the region here. And one of the things that the SPC outlook for the day 2 did mention is that this is going to put a damper on exactly how much surface heating we can get, which means we may not have as much instability as you would otherwise have, which of course means there might not be as robust supercells as we would otherwise like there to be. So one of the big things you'll want to take a look at today is whether or not there are pockets of insulation occurring, breaks in the clouds where there are regions of the atmosphere that are getting through straight to the ground. And that should help to actually increase that instability locally at least, and maybe give you a brief window for a much stronger supercell than you would otherwise have. Now, taking a look here at the evolution of storms, or at least what the HRRR is thinking, you can see right around 5 p.m., 6 p.m., that's when we get that initiation right in this area, and very quickly the solution for the HRRR wants it to be some sort of bow echoey type line thing. And as it moves into this area, it quite quickly dies out. So again, we're not looking at a long-lived event by any stretch of the imagination. But if you are already in the area, you're staging for Wednesday, and it's not going to force you to rush to get in position for storms on Wednesday, then you might want to go check it out here in Northern Indiana, Northeastern Indiana, maybe even the Northwestern tip of Ohio. Let's take a look next at our 850 millibar winds. That's our low-level jet, and we are going to have some great low-level winds here right around that 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock hour. That is definitely strong enough to get the job done. 35, 40 knots at 850 millibars. At the surface, you see we do have that low pressure building there on the northern Great Lakes area, a response to that shortwave trough that's coming through. And it's giving us those nice winds at the surface that are oriented south to southwest. We zoom in a little bit, you can see here The area that I would probably be targeting if I was out there chasing today would be where we see these winds backing to almost south-southeast in some areas. Profile's not as strong when you get out here, more unidirectional shear. You can see that 5 o'clock hour, 6 o'clock hour, that's really when you get those profiles that are going to be most conducive to supercells. And anything after that, you can just see that cold front coming through, scouring out all that moisture. Dew points pretty much showing us the same thing. You can see in that area, we definitely have that cold front imminent coming through, no doubt about it. And we do get some decent dew points here, high 50s, low 60s. The HRRR, of course, notoriously overmixes. So when I was looking at the solutions with the NAM, the WRAP, we were getting those mid to low 60s dew points in this area, giving us a little bit more CAPE than the HRRR is wanting to put out. HRRR is really only giving 700, 800 joules per kilogram. The solutions that I was seeing on the NAM and the WRAP were showing a bit more of a strong CAPE profile, 1200, 1300, in some places even like 1500, 1600 joules per kilogram. But so far, nothing really standing out outside of let's just go ahead and keep our eyes on any breaks in the clouds that are going to give us some extra daytime heating to maybe give us a little bit of insight as to where we should be headed. Bring up CAPE, and I thought this one was pretty interesting because you can see we do have some stronger CAPE starting off here to the west, but once we get into that 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and then by the time we hit 7 o'clock, a lot of that stronger instability has mixed out. This is actually probably where I want to bring up that NAM solution just to give you an idea as to what the HRRR is doing to this environment. So let me pull that up here real quick. And let's see here. Okay, there we go. So the NAM giving us definitely a better CAPE profile here. It's that 1200 to 1500, 1600 joules per kilogram that I was talking about. So if we take the average of the two solutions, the HRRR giving us an overmixed environment, the NAM probably coming in a bit too moist, I think it's safe to bet on somewhere around 1000, maybe 1200 or so joules per kilogram of CAPE if you can find the right area to target in this region. 0 to 3 kilometer CAPE pretty much telling us the same thing here. You can see that bullseye region right there locked in, 150, 160 joules per kilogram. Take a look at our convective inhibition. Doesn't look like we're going to have too much of a problem with that. And lastly, let's look at storm relative helicity. You can see right around the 5, 6 o'clock region, we do have some good low-level storm relative helicity in the 0 to 1 kilometer range. Gonna pull some soundings real quick, but before we do, this awesome app that I've been using for this show is the WeatherFront desktop app. If you want access to it, it comes packaged with your WeatherFront mobile subscription. So go ahead and search for that on your iPhone App Store, or just go to weatherfront.com. Android coming very soon. Okay, let's go ahead and take a peek here. We've got the 6 o'clock hour loaded up. If we go ahead and right-click, we request a sounding. And we can see we've definitely got something to work with. It's not necessarily going to be a prolific tornado producer, but you've got a puncher's chance if you're out there in that area. It's actually a little more CAPE than I was even expecting to see. And the wind profile is not too bad either. Just for the sake of posterity, let's pull a few more soundings in the area around there. Get maybe a better feel for the local environment. This one, of course, a little bit more along the lines of what I was expecting to see. Reasonable amount of CAPE, but nothing crazy. And we'll move backwards in time just a little bit, see what would happen if the storms may be fired a little bit earlier, a little bit further to the west. And we're still looking at something similar. Definitely, again, higher CAPE readings here than I would expect to see, but that's going to be the big thing, right? Just keep an eye on whether or not that area can get heated more than has been expected with the outlooks up until this point. So should you chase today if you're on the fence? I would say probably not unless you're already in the target area, you're well rested, and you're good to go for Wednesday. You've got a plan and everything already in place. Probably not the type of setup that is worth pushing yourself to go and chase, although I know there are some sickos out there who are absolutely going to do it. You can't help yourselves. But we will be back tomorrow with another forecast show for Wednesday's big setup. Remember to check out those links in the description below, and then watch another video.